Masterminds, how's it hanging? Oh, today's good. I don't know. I feel really, really positive today. Really happy. Had a great weekend. Christmas pageant. Went for a country drive on Sunday. Was amazing. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. And again, shows you if you look at something on Friday, you're feeling anxious about something, you're looking at the charts, you're diving into it. Just close the laptop, have your strategy in play, go touch grass, enjoy your weekend. Monday, things look different. So you can have that thesis, okay? So if we close beneath the 50-week moving average on Monday, I can maybe look at taking some action. But before then, don't panic, don't watch the charts 24/7. And what do you know? We're up. So that's a good spot to be, I think. And we've averted a bit of a crisis, this morning on having to maybe action something today. But the macro shifting, and I'll say it again, the sentiment was so bad last week as we were coming into a support level, made no sense to be, reactionary and panic selling. And that's what a lot of people were leaning into, I think. A lot of people switching bearish from bullish, and it was just the prime conditions for a bottom reversal, etc. It doesn't mean we're out of the woods by any means. In fact, it's kind of following my squiggle where we bounce back into the 20 SMA and maybe come back down and form some kind of higher low. But ultimately, that's what I want to see for a bottoming signal. It's very rare that we just V-shape back up. But then again, we are at the bottom of a range, so let's go from there. But this is a fun little experiment because look back on how you felt maybe last week and go, oh, geez, the world's sort of caving in, the crypto cycle's over, etc. And just try and be objective as you roll forward as well, and just remember this feeling and just go, right, if are we above support? Is there reason? Should we be bearish here? Probably not, but we should be alert. We need to have a strategy below if we start closing beneath some levels to take some action. If not, let's just sit on this and wait. And that's where I think we are today. And what do you know? We see some macro conditions changing over the weekend, which actually gives us more of a tailwind, potentially reversal spirit. So Bitcoin has been very sensitive to liquidity and flows into the stock market. The stock market kind of fell over a little bit at the end of last week. Bitcoin had just been crushed. Crypto had been crushed up into that. So it was kind of leading that liquidity cycle again. If we're seeing a reopening of the government, and there's a few other things that are popping up here, then we're going to get a pretty big pop here, I think. And the shorts that have layered themselves above Bitcoin's price here are very, very strong. So we can move very, very quickly up towards that 110 region. Just want to keep that in the back of our minds. Okay, so James Lavash this morning. Trump is floating $2,000 stimmy checks. Now, this has popped up this morning. It was muted last month that he might look to give lower income earners a stimulus check with the income received from the tariffs from the companies that are in the US anyway. And the expediency on some of this stuff is what we're seeing in New York and also some of the elections that have taken place in Virginia and elsewhere where it's been a clean sweep of Democrats. So there's probably alarm bells ringing in Washington right now going, okay, the midterms are coming at the back end of next year. What's happening here is middle America and lower America don't really feel like the conditions have changed all that much. They still feel very disenfranchised. And it's the younger generations as well that feel completely priced out. And my view is, look, it doesn't really matter who's in power here. The money is broken and the system is ailing and it's listing from one side to the other. Socialism will become more and more popular as people feel completely divorced from the system because we see the stock market at all-time highs. The top end of town is making more money than ever. They can just borrow against their assets and the assets just keep rising in value. They print more money. That end just keeps getting richer and richer. The bottom end that can't afford assets just keeps getting poorer and poorer and poorer, and they feel completely disenfranchised from housing, from assets, from upwards mobility. And this is a real problem. So people will, like in New York, and I've seen a lot of interviews going, look, we just wanted something different. And that's what people will list to. It's like with the Trump election from Biden, it's the swing to the other direction. We might get that swing back in the other direction. So the alarm bells are ringing. Washington's now starting to think, okay, we need to start hitting parts of the electorate with stimulus checks or some kind of incentive. This is going to be the playbook of governments. And this is why I just cannot be bearish on Bitcoin or crypto in an environment where we're going into loosening, we're going into stimulus, we're going into more debt. It makes no sense whatsoever to be bearish, at least mid to longer term here. Near term, yes, there's some sort of the sticks of dynamite that hit the ground, but you got to be sort of looking at the bigger picture here, and that's where I want everyone to be really super focused and sober. And I know masterminds, you are phenomenal at this. So